Hey, you guys. So today I'm going to be reacting to the very first episode of The Rachel Cruze Show. Yep. Here at Ramsey, we get a lot of questions and a little skepticism about why our money principles haven't changed in over 30 years. And I actually think it's a pretty fair question. And the economy, it's constantly changing. Technology has gotten more advanced. Our world, it just looks different than it did 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years ago. And although a few of the specifics have evolved or developed over time, like baby step 3B, saving up for a down payment, or things like Roth IRA investment options have changed, but the basic principles around money remain the same. But I'll admit, I'm curious to see if I fully stand by what I said in one of my very first YouTube videos. And I remember it being really short, but honestly, I don't remember the specifics. And this was 10 years ago. And I didn't have kids. And in the video, I talk about kids because I wrote a book called Smart Money, Smart Kids with my dad. And he wrote it from the perspective as a parent. And I wrote it from the perspective as the kid. And so I think I just was like going off my own experience. So let's see. I mean, I don't know. I can't wait to see Rachel 10 years ago. I mean, it's just crazy that I put things out on the internet. And what's funny is this whole show started with me at Ramsey wanting to put videos out. I was like, I want to put videos out because vlogs were like a big thing back then. And so I went, I got an open box special at Best Buy. It was like, that means somebody had already returned this little camera because it was so terrible. So I got a discount on it. Little flip camera, tripod. I would carry it around the office. I carried it around with me when I traveled. I shot these videos and yes, me, plugged it into my laptop, used the iMovie to edit them. And I got our creative team to give me like a little intro, outro slide that I would put in. I did it all myself, you guys, all myself. So you're about to experience all of that from the content to the video quality that I did. But you know what? You gotta start somewhere. All right, so before we take a look, I want to tell you about one of my favorite board games right now, Tapple. So Tapple is such a fun game, you guys. It is so great. You pick a category, you got to find a word that is within that category, and whatever letter that word starts with that you decide to pick, you have to put that letter down on the Tapple board. And there's all these different letters, and so it goes back and forth between teams. There's a timer, and if somebody chokes and they can't figure out a word with that starts with the letter that's already up, they lose. And so it is a really competitive game, but it is so fun. My girls love to play that categories game in the pool where you're like, favorite food, and you have to like guess and do this. And if they guess the word you're thinking of, you flip them. So anything around those categories and those words, my kids love them. So those kind of games, just like Tapple, my kids love. So start making memories today and buy Tapple at your local Walmarts. All right, let's get to it, y'all. Let's watch old young Rachel giving advice. Yep. Oh my gosh, the music like gives me chills. One of the big concerns a lot of parents have today as they're raising kids is they don't want their kids to grow up and feel entitled. So that's why I decided to do this blog post in my father's office. Sounds so prestigious, my father's office. No, it's really not. It's just like a normal office. But Mom and Dad were determined to raise us Ramsey kids not to feel entitled. They didn't want to raise spoiled little brats. One of the best things they ever did was they taught us how to work. And they went a step further than just working in chores. They actually decided not to ever give us an allowance, but to put us on a commission. So you work, you get paid. You don't work, you don't get paid. It's kind of like the real world. And we learned that at 5 years old. And I was very encouraged today when the Wall Street Journal had posted an article on kids. Oh, I'm glad I have my article to prove to you all that I have an article. Oh my gosh. Okay, so commissions allowance. Yes, that's not changed because that's how I grew up with money. And what's funny is I think like Rachel in that video would think, I am going to be so on top of it with my kids. We're going to have chore charts. We're going to do all this stuff so well, and it's going to be easy, and it's going to be fun, and we're going to be consistent. It's going to be great, great, great. Now fast forward to me with a 4, 6, and 8-year-old. It's like all over the place, absolutely all over the place. I probably need to be a little bit more structured with it. But for real, I'm like, oh my gosh, the idea of it and implementing it is always easier than the actual real world experience. But my kids, I have pushed this on them though. I really have. And I've even had to push the idea that I have to go to work to make money. Dad has to go to work to make money. And we use money to do things in our life that we need. Everything from having Disney Plus on our TV to food in our refrigerator to if we take a trip to put gas in the minivan. Like all the things that this life offers, most of it you have to have money in order to drive and eat and do all this. And where do we get money? We get it from work. So we have that conversation a lot when I have to leave for work or my husband's leaving, and we talk about that. They know that. They know it takes money to buy things, which is great. And now it's so funny because they actually, my girls especially, they want to do stuff to earn money because now they want to buy. And what Rachel in that video didn't know is that you can buy anything on an Amazon app on your phone like that. Like, I don't think I realize how quickly our stuff can accumulate and how quickly we can get stuff, which makes it, I guess, convenient. But also for my kids, they just like want things so quickly. So, but the commission versus allowance, earning money and having my kids work and earn, especially are my two older girls. Yeah, it's still true, tried and true. And I still believe it. So, okay, let's keep going. I think I'm going to keep going. And working. The study explains that 96% of parents say that their kids are responsible for summer chores regardless of age. And I heard that and I just wanted to say, well done, parents. Well done. I mean, 96% of parents, that's basically all parents out there. If the study's true, which I'm sure it is, I hope it is, it shows that a lot of parents are still teaching their kids work ethic, which is awesome. So what I would encourage parents to do is to put your kids on the commission system so they can start to understand that money comes from work. When they do a chore, they get paid. And they can start associating that money comes from work. Money doesn't come from mom and dad's back pocket. And once they make that money, I think they start to glimpse the value of $1. Because when they go and spend that money, or they save that money, or they give that money, there's emotion attached because they actually worked to get the money. I think that really combats the entitlement mentality. It may not solve every issue of entitlement, but I think that's one major step parents can take to start teaching your kids the value of $1, and that only comes from work. So put your kids on commission, not allowance, so they can start to understand the value of $1. Okay. So, I wish my kids understood a value of $1 and it came that easy. It's a little bit more difficult than that. But the idea, yes, that it is attached to work, I think is huge. So I would still agree with that. And the give, save, spend model, y'all. I mean, it's what I said 10 years ago, and it's what I still do believe. I'm like, all three of those things need to happen. I even say that to adults, like call the Ramsey show. And like, what do I do with this, money I have? And it's like, you do all three things. You got to give some, you got to save some, you can spend some. So all that is so true. But man, there I was giving advice. And I would say most of it, yeah, definitely agree with. It's a little harder in real life to put into practice, but it is all very true. And I don't know if y'all noticed that middle part, slicked back bun. I mean, I was ahead of my time when it came to the hairstyles. Yeah. Sophia Richie would be very proud of Rachel 10 years ago. Maybe Sophia saw that video and she was like, that's how I'm going to do my hair in 8 to 10 years. And it's going to be a trend. I'm just a trendsetter. Oh, man. So good. Okay, before I share my final thoughts on the video, I want to tell you about one of our sponsors, Christian Healthcare Ministries. If your healthcare costs are increasing while your available choices are decreasing, check out Christian Healthcare Ministries. Christian Healthcare Ministries is a biblically based health cost-sharing ministry, and it's an affordable alternative for health insurance. So find out more about chministries.org/budget. That's chministries.org/budget. Okay, overall, proud of young Rachel. And again, I stand by everything that I shared in that episode. And I probably believe in that advice again. Even more. I think that it is so important to teach our kids how to work and how to give and how to save and how to spend. And speaking of raising some grateful, non-entitled kids, you guys, I have my first kids book and it is officially out. I'm so excited about this. It's called I'm Glad for What I Have. And if you want to learn more about kids and money, make sure to grab a copy at RamseySolutions.com, because this book I wanted to write for kids to teach them contentment and what it looks like. And I wanted it to be short. You're welcome, parents. I wanted it to rhyme. I wanted it to have beautiful illustrations with animals, and the story is precious. Kids will get a lot out of it, but also what I wanted to do is have a story where at the end, the parent or the person reading the story, the adult, has a moment where they realize, oh my gosh, that is truth that I needed to hear too. So it's obviously for the kids, but also it's for the adults out there. When you have kids in your life that you love, pick up this book, read it to them, and hopefully you will be encouraged by the message too. So let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this episode. Maybe I'll react to some more OG clips from this YouTube channel because, well, they're out there for sure. So make sure to send this video to a friend who would appreciate some tips for teaching kids about money. And remember, you guys, to take control of your money and create a life you love.